No, they had bad intentions. You know, for 40 years they've been saying death to America, death to Israel, death to anybody else that they didn't like. They were bullies. They were schoolyard bullies. And now they're not bullies anymore, but we'll see what happens. Look, nothing's finished until it's finished. You know, war is very complex. A lot of bad things can happen. A lot of turns are made. So I don't know. I wouldn't say that we won anything yet. I would say that we sure as hell made a lot of progress. And we'll see. The next week is going to be very big. Maybe less than a week. Maybe less. But is there anybody here that said it would be okay to have a hostile, very, you know, zealots really, but to have a hostile country have a nuclear weapon that could destroy 25 miles, but much more than that, could destroy other nations just by the breeze blowing the dust. You know, that dust blows to other nations and they get decimated. This is just not a threat you can have. And we've been threatened by Iran for many years.
The US is considering whether to join Israel's air campaign against Tehran. America's $4.5 billion nuclear-powered supercarrier, the USS Nimitz, is on its way to the Middle East to provide support for Israel, a clear indication of where Donald Trump's priorities lie. Aircraft carriers are like a giant chess piece in the massive game of geopolitics. They provide the foundation of any sustained attacks, and Iran's supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, should be worried by this move from Trump. US Air Force planes have been spotted in Europe after flying all the way across the Atlantic from America. F-22 Raptors, F-35 Lightning jets, B-2 stealth bombers, KC-135 Stratotanker refuelers, and KC-46 Pegasus tankers have all touched down across Europe. What are they doing there? Well, they can help Israel shoot down those ballistic missiles that Iran has been raining down on Israel, pushing Israel's David Sling defense system, or the Iron Dome, to the absolute limit. And there are concerns Israel will run out of defensive missiles. The US jets can also serve a second purpose from Europe. They can be equipped with the bombs and missiles needed to strike Iran's nuclear facilities. Trump has posted about Israel having total control over skies over Iran and called for an unconditional surrender. We know he's been in the White House Situation Room meeting with his National Security Council for 1 hour 20 minutes, and he's spoken to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on the phone.
ملت ایران در مقابل جنگ تحمیلی محکم می‌ایسته، همچنانی که تا حالا ایستاده. در مقابل صلح تحمیلی محکم می‌ایسته. ملت ایران در مقابل تحمیل تسلیم هیچ کس نمیشه.
Iran has promised to hit US bases in the region, and US intelligence shows that to be the case. US military bases in UAE, Saudi Arabia, and Jordan have been put on the highest alert, and we've seen the US pull out ships from its major naval base in Manama, the capital of Bahrain. The US has reportedly withdrawn from 2 military bases in northeastern Syria, Al-Wazir and Tal Bidar. The move has sparked concerns among Kurdish forces about a potential resurgence of ISIS activity in the region. Meanwhile, Israel has been hammering Iranian ballistic missiles, air defenses, and military bases. Ali Khamenei warned Trump he will face hell and irreparable harm if he enters into the war and drops a single bomb on the capital, Tehran. The 86-year-old Ayatollah and his family are believed to have bolted to a fortified underground hiding place in a suburb of Tehran. He went to ground after swathes of military top brass and nuclear scientists were wiped out in simultaneous strikes at the start of Israel's Operation Rising Lion. If the US does decide to hit Iran, what would the main targets be? It could be the Fordo fuel enrichment plant. The jewel in Iran's nuclear program, it's located in the mountains and encased in steel more than 300 feet below solid rock. Israel has already inflicted damage on the facility, but said it will not stop. Israel's goal is to destroy the regime's capability of enriching uranium to weapon grade and making a nuclear weapon. From the UK, jets have begun arriving in the Middle East, with Defence Secretary John Healey saying the deployment aims to protect our personnel, reassure partners, and reinforce the urgent need for de-escalation. The German Chancellor has signalled his support for Israel in an interview.
Frau Zimmermann, ich bin Ihnen dankbar für den Begriff Drecksarbeit. Das ist die Drecksarbeit, die Israel macht. Für uns alle. Wir sind von diesem Regime auch betroffen. Dieses Mullah-Regime hat Tod und Zerstörung über die Welt gebracht. Mit Anschlägen, mit Mord und Totschlag, mit Hisbollah, mit Hamas am 7. Oktober 2023 in Israel. Das wäre ohne das Regime in Teheran niemals möglich gewesen. Die Belieferung Russlands mit Drohnen aus Teheran. Ja, Drecksarbeit, die Israel da gemacht hat. Ich kann nur sagen, größten Respekt davor, dass die israelische Armee den Mut dazu gehabt hat, die israelische Staatsführung den Mut dazu gehabt hat, das zu machen. Wir hätten sonst möglicherweise Monate und Jahre weiter diesen Terror dieses Regimes gesehen und dann möglicherweise noch mit einer Atomwaffe in der
Alpha.
Hallo.
שלוש לגבי F2 בכיוון מערב על דרך.
אוקיי, 7 מצטרף אליך רחוק. אוקיי.
אחלה.
נקודה 4 מ-7.
יש פגיעה במשאית ובנת"פ.
מעולה. ימינה דרום, בערך 10-20 מטר יתרים, אתה צריך לזהות אותו. אם לא, תלך...
Warmongering Russia ironically warned the world sits on the brink of catastrophe. Vladimir Putin, who has been waging an illegal war against Ukraine, called for a cessation of hostilities between the two sides.
You've been answered questions about whether you are moving closer or you believe the U.S. is moving closer to striking Iranian nuclear facilities. Where's your mindset on that?
I can't say that, right? You don't seriously think I'm going to answer that question? Will you strike the Iranian nuclear component? And what time exactly, sir? Sir, would you strike it? Would you please inform us so we can be there and watch? I mean, you don't know that I'm going to even do it. You don't know. I may do it. I may not do it. I mean, nobody knows what I'm going to do. I can tell you this, that Iran's got a lot of trouble, and they want to negotiate. And I said, why didn't you negotiate with me before? All this death and destruction. Why didn't you negotiate? I said to the people, why didn't you negotiate with me 2 weeks ago? You could have done fine. You would have had a country. It's very sad to watch this. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. It's so, everyone thought it was going to be the reverse. I didn't think so. And I was telling them, you gotta do something. You gotta negotiate. And at the end, last minute, they said, no, we're not going to do that, and they got hit. Remember 60 days, and then came the 60. 61 is going to become a very famous number. That was one hell of a hit. That first hit. That was one hell of a hit. Not sustainable, to be honest. That's where it ended. It ended on the first night. Yes.
Is it too late, though? Do you think it's too late to now?
Really, nothing's too late. The only thing too late is Powell. Powell's too late. Too late, Powell.
Have the Iranians reached out to you, Mr. President?
What?
Have the Iranians reached out to you?
Yes.
And what did you say?
I said it's very late. I said it's very late to be talking.